Good morning, sim folks out there. This is another video series in the what kind of moulage and things you can put on a mannequin. Today I'm going to be talking about a product or a type of product that I've been using for years that some people know about, some people don't, and it's called acrylic vinyl. And there's two major manufacturers out there, brand names that I've seen. One is called Watermelon by Davy. The other that I've been using for years, and actually what I started using with this is Trauma Skin Effects. I'm trying to get the glare off there. So this is their acrylic vinyl medium. Recently, they've changed their name and it hasn't been available, so I'm going to try to post in the comments or in the description the more updates on what's going on with that. I've been trying to call them and get a little more information on it, but this stuff's great. It's a liquid. It's got kind of like an Elmer's glue consistency to it. There is a little bit of a shorter lifespan on it. By that I mean, in its liquid state, as soon as you open the bottle, it'll tell you that you should use this within 12 months. And the reason is it'll start to congeal, it'll start to get chunks in the bottle, and just after a while it'll completely dry up. But the beautiful thing about this is it's kind of like using, if you've ever used liquid latex in a mold to make prosthetics, this is very, very similar, but there's no allergy, no concern or anything like that. I've said before that I try to shy away from it because, yes, it's a very, very small percentage of people that are allergic, and you can do things to try to keep them safe, but I just don't want to be wrong. And so I don't want to have to deal with that if there would be an issue later. So I completely stay away from latex wherever possible. And this is the key. So what's great about it, like I said, is I buy it in liquid. You can buy pre-made prosthetics, but the liquid's great because it's a water-based material, which means you can thin it down, you can slosh it in a mold, and you just let it dry. And when you're done with it, you end up getting things like this. And these are all molds that I've made. They don't have to be super high realistic. Remember what I always say is in Moulage, we are not movie level makeup artists. We're just trying to, meet a learning objective. And the more real you can make it, the better. But this stuff's great because if you notice, there's no pigment on it whatsoever. So I don't tint to the role player's skin tone. And you may say, well, why is that? Anybody that's ever worked a mass casualty event or a disaster event, we get all kinds of different actors with all kinds of different pigments and skin tones. So if I don't pigment these, when I put them on the actor, their natural skin tone comes through. So I don't even have to deal with it. These are pretty transparent, and I'll pull this one off to show you. But I'm telling you, they're pretty great. So, as you can see, this is just a long laceration, and if you put it on me here, it doesn't really allow a lot of my skin tone to come through, a little bit of it, but once you put it on and apply it, it does let a lot more of it on. Then all I have to do is color the inside of the wound, add some blood, and go on. Okay. The beauty of these are that you don't actually have to use a glue. No adhesives need to be used. The only thing you really have to use to glue it on is use 99% isopropyl alcohol, okay? And you really want to just kind of wet the back of it. We tend to kind of splash around, we're in a hurry and all that, but if you do the top of it, it will kind of melt all your texture off and it'll make it look shiny. You want to avoid it when you can, but again, it is what it is. But what you do is you wet the actor, I kind of wet the back of it, and I put it in place, and it actually kind of melts some of the surface of it. It gets it gooey, and it sticks it to your actor. Afterwards, you just peel it right off. If during the time of a mass casualty incident, you have some corners that peel up, or if it completely comes off, all you have to do again is stick it on with 99% isopropyl alcohol. They're one-time good deals. Don't try to reuse them. The other key is you don't want to take this off your actor with alcohol, because remember, alcohol activates it, so that's also what's going to make it gummy. You want to use something like an isopropyl mirror state or Telesys's Super Solve, or PPI's Super Solve, or something like that. But for the most part, it just peels right off. Don't use this around people's skin or hair as well. Okay, I've done it. I've made the mistake, and I'm here to tell you, don't do it. All right, so I know I said this is about mannequins, though, and I'm talking about people. Well, okay, so I've always known that it will stick to 3G's skin. I've done it before. It works great. And again, we don't live in a world with one mannequin company. So I decided to test a few different skins. I ask, I plead, I beg for skins from different manufacturers, all kinds of things. And so the reason I do this is to be able to do these tests for you, to make us all better. The world I live in is a highly Laerdal weighted world, but you guys are all over the place. So, and again, I didn't do this very, take my time. I did this in a sim scenario. I'm juggling everything. I'm at home. This is, juggling family, kids, and all that. So I slapped it on there with some alcohol, and I kind of let it go. If you got it really thick, if you end up making it thicker, you just use a lot more alcohol, and that'll kind of make it more tacky. So as you can see, there's air bubbles under there and stuff like that. It's not perfect, but again, it works. It sticks on really, really well. So that is an iStand skin. Here is the Sim Babies Classic, now we have to call it, but the Sim Baby Classics TPE skin. Here is a Gamard skin, which is fully silicone. Here is the back skin to a 3G series Laerdal skin. Now, remember, the reason I say the 3G series is because different mannequins made by the same manufacturer may have a different makeup. The new Nursing Annies, the new Sim Babies have more of a silicone skin. And I'm waiting for people to send me some of those skins that I can test more. I honestly forget which skin this is. This was given to me by another friend of mine. Oh, I'm sorry. This is a CAE Apollo. And I even get a little bit of peel up, and if you stretch it, it'll probably come off. So again, this is not perfect, but it's quick and it's easy. And with a mannequin, you might be able to use this again. Because again, the reason I tell you not to reuse this with a person is whatever ick is on somebody's skin, if you peel it off and you put it on somebody else, that is not safe, that is not sanitary, and I really don't recommend you do it. But with a mannequin, hopefully you've cleaned that skin and there's no icks or anything like that. So there is a chance you could peel it off and use it again. Now these, if you've noticed, I've colored them. And I want to talk about that because a lot of times when I'm making these videos, I'm juggling life and there's a lot going on. And so I'll come in here, I'll set something up and I'll run away and then I'll do some stuff. And so I put all of these on here, and these have been on for a week or so because I keep trying to record this video and haven't had the time. But when I went to color it, I immediately thought of my #1 go-to, which is your alcohol-activated pigments. This happens to be made by PPI, Skin Illustrator. It's the #1 I see used in the industry, but all of them are pretty close, especially in our world, to working the same. So I'm pretty frugal. I try to get the cheapest I can. So anyways, this is my go-to. This is the palette I go to very, very first. But I just got a Black Friday deal on this. So you guys know that if you've watched a lot of my videos, you know that I love Tinsley Transfers tattoos, and they're great. So I pay attention to their website. I've got the email newsletter, and so when deals come through, I try to get them. And this is something kind of new for them, and I'm going to try to play with this more and do a separate video for it. But I'm really, really excited about this. So this just happened to be on my desk next to all of these skins, and so what I did was I just grabbed out what was called, see if I can get not reflection there, Angry Red, and I grabbed the brush that comes with it, okay? And literally all I did was I took some from the tube, I took the cap off, I put on here, and I took about 5 seconds max for each wound, excuse me, and colored it. It was super easy, and it was great. The very best thing about this, and I can't say, I really love to say, it's cream, or it's this, or it's that. I don't know, and I'm looking for the descriptions. I actually am going to send an email out to them, and they're great to deal with. Quick ship, really, really personable. They'll answer questions. They're great, but I just haven't had the time. The greatest thing is this whole set is $15. That's it. So I'm going to do some more testing before I really want to officially say this, but I think this might become one of my buy this first. So I get asked a lot, what's in a perfect Moulage kit? There's no such thing. There's just no such thing. You've got to find out what your skill level, what you're into, what works for you to find that. But I'll tell you what, for a low price point, and this will go a long way, and it's got some primary colors in it. It's got a little bit of blood in it as well, and it's a drying blood. And then on the back, it's even got these mixing instructions on how to get different colors. Because if you look at it, you'd be like, well, there's no purple, and we use a lot of purple. Here's how to get that really quick, really easy, and nicely. The thing I really liked about this was, first off, quick, easy, cheap. The other thing was that after it dried, it was completely transfer resistant. I have not done anything else. I've not put a sealer. I've not done anything else to this at all, and it is not coming off. I have yet to do a stain test, and I will tell you, okay, I lied. I did a little bit of one, and I'm guessing the video's not going to pick it up. If you see a little bit of a hue right there, that was a 24-hour test I did while I was doing all of these injuries, and it just left a slight hue. I'm guessing acetone will pull that out, but I don't know for sure. I'm going to do some real results and I'll get back to you. Also, the best thing about going back to the acrylic vinyl material is if we haven't used a glue, we don't need to use a remover. And again, as you see, I just peeled that straight off. And I will reuse this again because I know I didn't use it on a human. If it goes on a human, that's it. But on a mannequin, I'm cheap, I'm frugal. So I will use that again. And it's pre-colored, which is pretty darn nice. So for all of these, I would slap this on. It takes about 5 or so minutes, depending on how much alcohol you have, to wick the alcohol off. But I would grab either my favorite go-to blood, which is the Red Drum Blood by PT Materials. I believe, I don't know for sure, but I believe that they're a subsidiary of Tinsley. Again, this is where I remind you, I don't make a dime from anybody by doing this. This is just something I do to help, to share the information, and to make us all better. So I want the interaction. I want you to give me comments, but no, I'm not making money. If there gets to be a point where I get sponsored, we'll talk the difference thing then. But right now, nobody likes me that much. So I really like these. This was their trial kit. I don't even know if they make them anymore. A friend of mine sent me this. But for quick little blood, all I have to do is just throw some blood in there, load the wound, let it kind of drip, and then you can actually go over with a little bit of water and kind of tease that out. We can go over blood application some other time, but this, you know, for the ease of use, the cheap way of doing this, it's awesome. Now, I said in my stain test, I was talking about Cutthroat Studios Bad Blood. So this is their blood. Again, I did get given this, but there was no sort of guns for hire or anything like that. It was simply a, hey, you're a nice guy, do you want to do this? If you happen to talk about it, fine. So there was no, tit for tat on this. But first off, I love their packaging. It's awesome. And this is another new find of mine that I really, really like, and I'm loving it. They just changed to a shatterproof container, so he was talking about that. But as far as the color, and this is on my stain test, another one that it didn't stain the PVC skin like some of the other. It's a little more liquidy, but he does have a blood paste as well, so you can go with something like that and just load that wound up. But it's a little more liquidy, but it runs pretty nicely, and I like it. It's a great blood. On a silicone skin like this, it definitely should not, in a perfect world, stain, but it's great. I really, really like it. So these are my two current favorites. Find what works for you. Find what you like and share these things. It's the only reason the only way we all get better. So that's really what I had to share with you today. We're probably going to talk a little bit more about the acrylic vinyl, because something I'll do is I will make sheets of it, I will tint it black and red, and I will use it for a very, very quick burn. But that's a little more than I want to get it into with this video. I just wanted to talk about it, show you it works on mannequins. I use it on people all the time, and it's great. So if you like the video, please do me a favor, subscribe, leave a comment, click that you liked it. It just gives me some feedback, and if any of you folks actually know me, that's what I like. I want the interaction. I want you to, call me out on things that you don't think work or don't work for you, or say, something was good. So I'm just doing this so that it'll make us all better. Also follow me I'm on LinkedIn and Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. That's where I post most everything. So find me on those platforms, share, comment, and hope to hear more from you. So, all right, have a great day. Thank you for watching.